Yeah, we can't see you.
Okay.
You got me now?
Okay. Yeah, we got you.
I like that
How are you?
sweater your wife got there.
Hmm?
We
I
can't hear you.
need to order one of those sweaters.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah,
definitely.
definitely appreciate that.
We doing some changes to the website, but merch will be available readily soon. So we'll make sure that we post that for everybody that wants to purchase some Who's a Deadbeat merch. And yeah, so Joshua, how's it going?
It's going, it's going. It's another day. I guess you can how they say another day, another dollar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear that.
So we ain't gonna hold you too long. I mean, sometimes these things can get long winded, but given the circumstances, we're gonna ask a few questions and then we'll just allow you to, elaborate on your situation and your story, and hopefully it can reach somebody and help somebody that's going through the same thing. That's the purpose of why we do this. And so before we get started, how old are you?
I'm 33 years old. I'm from El Paso, Texas. I don't mind saying where I'm from, but I'm from the edge of Texas, El Paso.
That was the next question.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Texas in the house. So how many kids do you have?
So I was uh I was married for 14 years. My first marriage, I got 3 kids, and I'm recently almost remarried soon. But I have a 2 year old with my new wife, so well future wife. But yes, that's where I stand, and of course a stepdaughter.
So four biological
Total
children.
for my
Five total, four,
one that
and
I
then
picked.
one bonus kid. Okay. So how many kids are you currently being alienated from?
So my first marriage was my 3 kids.
And what are their ages?
So my oldest just turned 15 years old. She's a girl, so she's the firstborn, and of course I got a 14-year-old and an 11-year-old. Those are from
Oh,
my marriage.
okay. So you have two teens and a preteen.
Exactly.
So before we get into the situation, with you and your ex, you said you guys were married. So we know that and you said for 14 years. So you've already pretty much answered how long the relationship lasted with you guys. And three beautiful kids came up out of that union.
But
What caused the split? Just to be, brief. Who decided? What happened with that?
you know what? I was with her since high school. Back in so it was my probably my freshman year, I would say. And since then, like they say, you can't regret everything from the relationship. You got your goods and bad times. You know,
Okay.
according on my situation, we got in high school and everything like that. My daughter was born at senior year, so I took responsibility. I want to give props to my parents. They've raised us to become, responsible to what we do. So real quick, at a 15, my 15-year-old daughter, my firstborn, um, you know, fresh and new from high school, not knowing what to do, right away I was able to get a job and get our first little trailer right there in the hood where we stay in our area. Be responsible for it. But my daughter was born. Everything was going good. Married. I would be. We were together for, I would say, 14 years in total, but really, really married by court was 5 years. The last,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So what really, I guess a lot of relationships are not strong is with, a lot of communication and trust and understanding other people, what they do. And in my situation, I was the only one working for forever. I don't
Okay.
blame her. I mean, our plan was me work and, you worry about the little ones, take them to school, get them going, any emergencies at school, you go ahead and go do that. So, I took it responsible as a man and said, I'll just do it on my own.
As you should. As you should.
Yeah.
Yeah. And to this day, I mean, I still do that, and I'm happy for myself. But, that's what was done, and on my part, I'm gonna be open and say, I was cheated on, and
Okay. So it
given.
was infidelity that caused the divorce. Is it final?
Yeah, my divorce got final back in 2020.
Okay.
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 How long were you guys married?
By court,
14,
5 years. Uh,
5 years?
for the 13 years together.
Okay. All right.
So, I mean, you don't have to, go into the whole details about the infidelity, that's unless you want to share that and be transparent, we'll allow that space. But technically, in this situation with you guys divorcing, it seems that something had to go wrong, right? So were you the one who filed for divorce or was it her?
You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. She filed divorce.
Okay.
You know,
So that was her decision and you guys, went your separate ways. But what happened is I mean, because it sounds like you we know from what you've told us that you were active father from day one with your kids, all the way up until this. And so now, like, what's the riffraff? Like, is what caused things
Yeah.
to shift? All right, would you say now that she's the bitter one, or are you being called a deadbeat? Like, where are we today with this?
well, I got divorced in 2020. I got finalized in 2020. Actually, I'm sorry. No, it got finalized, I believe, on the 2021.
Okay.
Since the COVID hit and all that, it paused everything. So I was trying, during that process to try to make it, the most best I can do to make it civil. She wanted the divorce. I was not okay with it, of course, but I had to learn and accept that she wanted that. You know,
Right.
so unfortunately, during that process, I was keeping my hopes up the way, don't get me wrong, but sometimes either men or women, it goes both ways. But one of them can be the most manipulated person where it can confuse you and think that everything's okay, but in reality, they're preparing for themselves to make
Yeah.
they're going to be okay first before you now. So that's what ended up happening to me.
They call it the exit strategy, basically, right?
Exactly. And going through that process, I thought everything was good, finalizing the bills where, I was making sure that I left her the home. It was a rental home, but I was making sure that, the rental home was finalized and given to her, before all that happened. I did not even know that she was already changing paperwork and making it seem like I wasn't there no more. So, before I
So,
was noticing, landlord comes with new paperwork. Hey,
So
you're gone.
so let me ask you this. So what do you think y'all went wrong as far as,
co-parenting after the split.
co-parenting, yeah, after the split?
You know what? The co-parenting has, to this day, has been very bad. I expected something different. I'm not gonna lie. I might not be a great husband. I might not been a great man for her. I might not been the person the right way that I was supposed to provide the way she would think I was going to. I take maybe a little bit of blame on that. But when it comes to my
Hold on, you breaking up a little bit.
You look frozen. It may be your
all right,
Wi-Fi connection. Okay,
we're good. Okay.
you're back. Okay.
So I was saying, during that process of the co-parenting, I actually thought everything was going okay because what happened was, um, my kids were still going to school, elementary, so during that separation, I moved to my parents' home for that, and I left her at the home. My kids were still going to an elementary down the street from my parents' home because my parents would always help us out, pick them up in case I couldn't or she couldn't, whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, during that process, I was learning. I was getting all the evidence out of my. I was able to hack into to Instagram and stuff like that. Not really hack because I had her passwords and stuff like that.
You was
Yeah.
And
hacking.
yeah, so I was like, man, I was starting to find out everything, and I'm like, at first I thought I was the problem because I was being blamed for working too much, for not being at home too much. I had my regular job, and then I had my second job in the afternoon. So just to
So
provide.
is this post separation that you're doing this, or are you still talking about when you guys were together that you were uh snooping and lurking and going through her social media?
After, well, I found out on the infidelity after the fact. So
Oh.
it was
Okay.
just like, no,
So she filed for divorce and then you weren't sure why, like really, because okay, you've been together marriages have ups and downs, we know that, but
Yeah.
you didn't have like a clear reason. So now fast forward, you find out that there's somebody else in the picture, and that's giving you your, oh, okay, so maybe this is why, she wanted to end it, because there's someone else.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how did that make you feel once you actually found out?
Well, it was tough because it was in Thanksgiving Day, so we were still playing it out as trying to finish off the year for the kids for the holidays, So we were out at a family's home, and while we were at the family's home, I really didn't know, there was not much communication with her no more, but she was still around. But while that day, she was messaging this other person. And the bad part is that this person wasn't even from local. He wasn't even from our hometown. So
Mm.
he became tried to become an influencer on Instagram. That's horrible. Like they try to be influencers on Instagram, and it doesn't work, but she was trying to get those followers and stuff like that. So when I found that out, and I tell you, in Thanksgiving, was because after we were separated already, I was living at my parents, and doing, all my little research, and I found out that a voice clips where she was talking to a guy, letting him know that she was in the process of divorce, but that was on the time that I didn't even know what was going on.
Oh
Mm.
wow.
So, and I had all that evidence till this day, but it was there, her voice, and
So so what was the arrangements that y'all had with the kids? So
Yeah,
let's
how
get
did
let's dive into the alienation part of it. So what went wrong with that as far as you getting your time with your kids?
well, part of that was when I brought it up to her attention about the infidelity. Before I
Mm,
brought that up to her during the process that I was looking into all the stuff, everything was okay. I was able to pick him up whatever time. I was able to get him whatever time I can, because the truth wasn't out there yet. You know,
mm.
I was still in confusion. Like, man, I failed as a husband. I mean, man, why was I working too much? They needed me at home. But when I was finding all this stuff out, that's when it went downhill, like totally downhill, where she just completely stopped letting me pick up my kids when I wanted to, and everything just turned around completely. She transferred them schools. She moved them schools. So it
So
was.
what was you giving her any issues?
I'm sorry.
Was you giving her any issues? Like
any conflict,
any
like,
conflict?
I brought it up to her attention. I brought it up, but like
I'm
not
talking
too
about
like.
like constantly, because I'm asking the question that everybody else gonna ask. Like, why would she do that out of a sudden? All of a sudden, when you guys are co-parenting well, and then you bring it up, was it a continuous issue or she
Well,
just
I brought that up because I realized that I was like, what the heck? Like, hell no, it wasn't me. So now that she realized it, that I found out, everything was going back and forth where the co-parenting stopped.
she
The
felt exposed. She felt
exposed about it.
exposed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what was exposed about it, where she was just like, damn, I guess he found out, you know.
okay? So what was some of the things she was doing to stop you from seeing your kids after she moved away?
So she used that during this process, that separation and all that, finding out, she since COVID hit. It's a funny story to get to that point. While we were going through all this separation, she filed child support and all that stuff while I was still living with her.
Oh wow.
We got the letter by mail, at the same residence. So her letter is in the mail, my letter is in the mail, and we're like, hey, this is I mean, freshly new. This is my only baby mama that I had, you know, and that I will have, God willing, But it's like, hey, this is your paperwork. They give us a date and time, and me as a person, like, man, it's gonna be okay. Like, we drive together to the child support office. She's in the passenger,
Wow.
the driver's side, thinking it's gonna be okay.
Yeah. Cause you just wanted peace. I mean, it's clear like some things go sour, but to have three kids with somebody who wants that to be a high conflict situation, because you have to think about the kids. Like, it's always about what are they gonna think, what are they gonna feel, and I just feel like to prioritize them and their feelings to the point that they didn't even know anything was going on until it really happened, that was good on your part. So kudos to you for that, to try to, keep it at a bare minimum so the kids weren't affected during the time, that it was actually happening.
Definitely,
So how long have you been alienated?
man. You know what? It's been to that year to now. We went to court, and it's all done. That case is closed, so it's been able to talk about. But that case was in reference of the child custody. Because when COVID hit, at that time, all the courts closed.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't able to see my kids for 6 months straight because her excuse was COVID. They can catch COVID. They're gonna get sick. You know,
So at that time, did you have an order
yeah,
established?
the order was already done. What happened was I had the regular order, which sucked. It was like only 2 hours on a Thursday, and every other weekend only 2 days. So it was totally like limited, very bad. So I had that order at that time. So I only had that little bit of time. So I didn't see him for 6 months. I filed for a modification, you know, and when I filed for that modification, I was able to get extended visitation. The judge was able to do that, so now I was able to get him way longer time. So, but it wasn't finalized yet. So, because the court was still going on and on. So honestly, it took me about 6 months not being able to see him the right way, and then on and off. Since all this, it sucks here in the United States. I would say that it's all a civil matter. So it's
Oh
not
Yeah.
yeah.
like, it's not like, oh, you know what, they're doing this and they'll go stop it. They don't
Mm-mm.
enforce it nowhere that I've known of. You know, but to this day, I'm still fighting for this to change. But it was about 2 years ago when I modified again, and I was able to get full custody of my daughter. So I was
One
able,
child
Wow.
out of the three?
yes, out of the three, and since the boys were too small, and since I paid extra for the attorney, for my lawyers and all that, to be able to have my kids speak to the judge. That's where the truth is at. So for future references for anybody out there, that's what you got to do, in my opinion, experience
You
is,
breaking up
you
again. You
know,
breaking up. We
mom
losing
and
you. That's important. Hold on. Wait. Yeah, we see you now.
Okay.
Yeah, repeat that.
yeah, again, a lot of people for future references, uh, it's not about mom and dad. A lot of courts I experienced when I went through this, it was about, money, money. I want more. I want more. Why is he paying less child support? He does this, he does that. And you don't really talk about your kids. You don't really talk about that. So what I said is, you know what? I told my attorney, I said, you know what? I need to pay either extra, whatever it needs to be, but my kids need to speak to the judge. That's where the truth is at you know. And luckily, not luckily, it's something that was given because my daughter, was able to say, you know what, I want to be with my dad. Because my daughter's a sports girl and all that. She wasn't going through that no more. Her life was paused because I coached her team. So it was like, you can't play no more because your dad's the coach.
So, okay, before we move forward, during the 6 months, right, during COVID, you weren't, or you able to speak to them over the phone? Like, because I was going to get to that. The kids are they're older, right? And I know at the time they were a little bit younger than they are today, but they were still old enough to say, where's my dad? Like, what's going on, right? Kids already by that time definitely have established how important their father is to them and the relationship that you guys have. And so I know they were missing that and yearning for it. And so you just went straight 6 months cold turkey, no nothing. Like you couldn't like go to their school, you couldn't do anything. Like nothing. Well, not school, because I know a lot of things were
There
shut down and we were virtual across the world, right? But I mean, to be with kids for their entire life since day one, for that to get cut off, like how did you cope with that? Like I'm just trying to see, like, where were you with this mentally?
Man, you know what? I'm gonna be honest, with you guys. I haven't been very, very open of what I went through, and I appreciate you guys being out there for all these parents, but I'm very open now. I went through depression, crazy style. I was at 165 pounds, not that much, dropped down to about 130 in less than
Mhm.
6 months without even
Yeah.
working, you know, nothing like that. It was hard to go through it because I was blocked from their phone from the phone, from They didn't have the personal phones, so I was blocked from mom's phone. I was blocked from, I tried to send her messages through her social media and stuff like that. I was blocked automatically for that. So there was no way of communicating. It sucks because every time I would, you try to go to their homes and hey, try to knock, but then you got the cops coming down saying you're harassing, you're doing,
Yeah.
and it's like, it's not even like that, But I
Right.
learned that everything I had to do was I had to record. I had to have my phones ready. I had to go.
Documentation, very important. Very
Very,
important.
very
So
important.
how did your well, I got two questions. I'm gonna take it back a little bit.
But
So under because I know yes, kids do have a somewhat of an opinion when it comes to talking to the judge, saying which parents they want to live with. But ultimately the judge is not gonna switch custody based off of their word and only their word. So what under what grounds was it that the judge switched custody and gave you full custody of your daughter and not the other two kids?
so that's a good question. And the thing is, at that time, my daughter was barely 12, about to be 12, or was, yeah, about to be 12, around there. So the other ones were way younger. So when I did that was, my daughter was having a lot of trouble with my ex-wife's new husband or new boyfriend.
Mm.
You know, he's in the military. I respect everybody's in the military. I honestly do. But there's sometimes where you gotta put a stop to people that take advantage of it. You know,
Yeah.
and my daughter was going through a lot where he would go into her room without like knowing what's up, like or this was according to my daughter, and this was something that I had to put a stop to. So the judge was able to, like, the judge was open to us and told us, it's not just because a kid says I want to go with mom, stay with mom,
Right.
I want to go with dad.
Mhm.
you know According to the judge that we had, we were lucky that this judge is for the kids. The judge was able to listen to all three of them, and according, to this day, I haven't even spoke much to my daughter what was conversated in that room with the judge. But according to the judge, she had told us, I want to make sure I'm going to put the kid where she or he belongs, where it's about them, not about you. you know I don't care if dad can buy him a PlayStation, mom can do it also. Mom can take him to the store and buy him $500 worth of clothes, and dad can do it also. It's not about that. It's
Right.
the kid is more happy where he's being more things that are done for themselves.
Yeah.
Like,
The best interest of the
Yeah, the
child.
best interest of the child.
Like you said, it was the judge. Like if anybody has out there that's ever been through a nasty custody battle or even getting to that point, these are key points that people have to know, because a lot of people do think that, oh, my son would say they want to come with me, or my
That's
daughter's
a
gonna
myth.
tell them. We've
no,
been there and done that. If the case isn't even built around showing and like strategically showing what's in the best interest of the kid,
exactly.
chances are custody will not be switched.
And
No,
that was huge for the judge to switch custody of your daughter, to send with a father. Like that shows a lot.
Yeah.
it does. It
Yeah.
does. It does, and it's a blessing because at that time I had a very small visitation hours. Like I say, I had them every Thursday for 2 hours from 6 to 8 o'clock. And every other weekend I would only have him Fridays and Saturdays, and give him back Saturday at nights, I believe, at 6 o'clock. So it was nothing. So the thing was, my two boys were able to say, hey, I want more time with my dad. I want to
So
see my.
how does that work?
Yeah.
Like, because we fought in Texas, so everything we did in Texas, is that where you fought too
Yeah.
in El Paso?
Yeah, I thought.
Okay, so like we know that the family court system is a beast. Like, it doesn't work out in everybody's favor. It's case by case. It just depends on the dynamic of your case, right? For us, we it went the way in our favor, and so I just know a lot about Texas and the law when it comes down to family court, right? We it's rare. We were told that it's rare that they split kids because we had to fight for two as well, right? But in your case, they left two with her and only let you take one. And so this is not something that we usually hear of. And so that's why we're really intrigued that a judge made that type of decision and ruling, that she really probably believed, he or she, not saying, but it is, that that your daughter would be better off with you. And so this just goes to show there are some good judges out there that will make that decision based on whatever that individual child is going through, for themselves, that it may not be the best interest to stay with one parent or another. They will split them up, because we were always told that they usually don't split kids up in households. Because how do you guys switch swap when you get the boys? Does she get your daughter? Like, how does that work in time? In terms of custody.
Well, here comes the tough part. Also, again, when I got custody of her, um, I was able, to pick her up from school now, and it was a tough part when I did find out that I was only getting my daughter. I wanted my boys too, and I realized that things were different. So when things were different, it was just something that, the judge was the one that had to be the one that was saying everything about this. So when I did get my daughter, you know, from that period of time, her mother hasn't picked her up or hasn't seen her since I got custody of her, and that's a fact, proven. You know,
So
Mhm.
she haven't seen her
she hasn't really seen her. She'll see her from like far away or whatever, but not really like conversate with her. It's very
because you
weird.
said you got full custody of her, right? So
Yes,
what rights do she have?
she still has the same rights as having her picking her up Thursdays. Having her. You know what? I'm gonna put it simple. She has the rights as court shows, but what I told my daughter is, I don't care about that paperwork. If your mom wants to pick you up anytime she wants, you can go ahead and go. You know, I'm open to that. It's not about, oh, you're mine. No, you're mine now.
So
It's
did she, so she don't exercise her rights, is what you're saying?
exactly.
So she's upset with the daughter for actually telling you, and typically that's how it be. Once the kids start talking and you can't manipulate them no more, typically
They become targeted
they
as
become
well.
targeted as well. So
Mhm. But it's a good thing that you still try to facilitate and foster that good relationship between her and her mom, regardless of what you guys went through in your marriage. And this is what we try to put out there so much. Like, you even admitted, hey, maybe I was a bad husband or not a good guy in terms of what she wanted and what I needed to be for her. But when it comes to these children, it's not for you to decide to punish me with my kids just because you feel a certain way. You know what I mean? And so a lot of people can't do what you did. A lot of people can't do the things that we do. You have to still know that these kids need both parents. And it doesn't matter how you feel about them. It doesn't matter what y'all went through. Only matters how this kid feels about that parent, because it's their parent, not yours.
exactly. So how is the relationship with your sons and your daughter? Being that
You know what? I lost a lot. I lost communication with my second son in reference of, this. What happened was where, all of a sudden he was like, no, I don't want to be with you no more, dad. So it was kind of like, our kids being coached, you know, our kids being told stuff. So I lost a lot of communication with him, my middle child, where there's no communication. I can't, out of his decision, I try to, pick him up at those times. And it's sad because when you don't have the support on both sides and say, hey, you know what? No, that's your actual dad. That's your actual mom. You still love her. You still love him. Do the best you can for both parents. But it eventually wasn't working like that. It
so do
was
you
more,
think he was being manipulated?
definitely.
Because a lot of people think parental alienation is just keeping the kid away from the other parent, but a lot of that's only one part of it. The other part is when you mentally, psychologically damage the kid to dislike the other parent, like saying different remarks in front
Bad
of
mouthing them,
bad,
pretty
yeah,
much.
bad
Just
mouthing,
trying to turn them against them, projecting your feelings,
or your dad just mad, or your dad this,
and
your
putting them in the middle of adult situations. Like,
yes,
a child shouldn't know why mommy and daddy can't talk, or what they feel about this or that. Like, because when children hear this stuff, they start thinking it about the other parent. This is natural. Any human can vouch for this, but parental alienation works way worse on kids and it damages them really bad. And then it's behind the scenes. So a lot of people don't believe that is true. They hide behind it, for whatever reason that benefits them. But the reality is, all of this stuff really affects these children. And what type of parent are you if you don't put your child first? If you don't care about your kid, because let's be honest, you cannot like something a lot, but your child is their own person. Like, they want to like and love, and why would you strip them from any type of anything that could make them happy? Why? They tend to make it a competition. Oh, it's better over here. You're gonna hate it over there. I'm the better parent.
Yeah.
Your dad sucks, or your mom sucks, or whatever.
They make them feel guilty for loving you.
Exactly.
So that's what your one son. So what about the other one?
Well, my little one, he's been with me for still. He will go back and forth normally, and now recently, as a matter of fact, 2 weekends ago, we had his little birthday party. He turned he turned 11, so I did his own birthday party here and stuff like that, and all of a sudden it was what was it Labor Day, what was it Labor Day weekend on that. So he was able to stay with me also Monday since there's no school.
Mm-hmm.
So I took him back Tuesday morning to school, and then Wednesday, Thursday, I pick him up again on Thursday. So that day was like heartbroken for me. I received a call where he was told, like, where he was like, "Hey, I don't want to go no more." But it's kind of sad that they get coached, and you can hear people in the background, letting them know what to say. So it
And
threw me
air
off
shots
guard.
of the conversation. If you in Texas, that's in order.
That's again, it's a violation of the order, and
That's contempt.
even them saying they don't want to go, like, if
They-
they have to follow that order,
yeah.
like. And so I don't know why people think they can just coach and coerce their kid, even stand by that. Oh, she doesn't want to go with you, even when she's with you, she's crying to come back home. It doesn't matter if you have a court order. Okay, please don't let this child come when they're supposed to, because it's consequences. It's
Yes.
consequences for things like that. And this is what we try to tell our community. You don't have to get so caught up on the now of what's happening, because if you have that court order, you can always follow up. You can always have it enforced.
So
Definitely.
with that being said, so you got two kids that want to come and one don't, right?
Correct, correct.
So how was their relationship?
My daughter, well, my oldest right now is, I would say she's my rock, man. Right now, she's the one that lifts me up on all this. Where, Dad, we're gonna be okay. Dad, time will tell. But I know that she also hurts and not seeing her brothers the right timing, or stuff like that. So it's not a perfect relationship because that relationship is being broken. There's no communication that much no more. We're not
Yeah.
speak to him through the phone, to this day, which it is another
You
violation.
don't get phone calls?
No, no. The only time I was able to talk to him is when it's my time. Okay, it's 6 o'clock. Back then it was, it's 5:59. You can't talk to them. You can't get them yet. Hold on. Okay, now it's 6 o'clock. Now it's you can get them. So that's how
But
bad.
what's
Where
the beef? Like, I know we went over this, and I don't want to make this a long, drawn out thing, but this is what the people don't really want to know. Like, you found out. Okay, boom. Did something happen once you found out? Like, did you like call her names? Like, she's really doing all this just because she's moved on. She has another partner.
She cheated.
Like, what
Right.
is the issue? Like, she ended it. She's the one who filed for divorce. Like, why are you like, what's so bad that now you have to turn the kids against them? And now it's even working down to the point that the kids' relationships is being severed because of her own
Right.
personal
It gotta be
issues.
something. Is it because of money? What?
Like, did
all
she
right.
not get the child support
So,
payment she wanted? Like, what?
so I got this is more crazy. It gets crazier and better on my side. Uh, During that finalizing of the modification, um, you know, they gave me full custody of my daughter. They gave me 50-50 of the boys. And to put some, like they say, put some cool whip on top of the cake, they took off child support. So I don't pay child support, So I'm guessing
Mm.
to where, the sad part is I was being sent by court through her. I would always get served because of this, because of that. And
Mm-hmm.
court, it would turn on her, where it was like, no, well, this is more important, or this is it's about this. So everything turned back and was like, no, you know what? We're gonna give this guy more time for his kids. We're gonna give him, full custody of his daughter, 50-50 of the boys, and now
Hello, you can't
nobody.
ask for more money if you can't give up more time.
Exactly.
It don't work like that. You
Exactly.
don't just get money and the father gets no time.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So now it's making a little bit more sense. Like, and I know you've gave the very detailed account of everything, but it's just like when we do this, we want to be clear to the audience and the people who are watching what not to do if we can help them, if it's in the early stages of a divorce or a separation. Every case is different, of course, in every situation, but that's why I'm like trying to go back and try to really, really get that answer, because we always got to find out who's the deadbeat, like who's the real problem here. And so it just seems like you were this cool guy that pretty much, and I'm not talking about the personal stuff, because we all have those moments where we do things that we're not so proud of. That doesn't matter to us. We care about what type of father you were, how you tried to make things a easy and smooth transition for your kids after the separation. And to us, it just seems like you tried to be fair. You left of the house, you did this, you did that. And so for it to turn out this way, it's just unfortunate for the kids.
yeah.
So
Like
you
I've always said it. We divorced each other, but I didn't divorce my kids. I didn't sign, a paper where it's going to separate me also from my kids.
Right.
A lot of parents don't understand that. A lot of parents, of course, we've seen it 100% where they use our kids as shields. Okay,
Yes.
and you don't see him, then I don't see him, then I'm going to get him, then you don't get him. It's just bad where there's no co-parenting, you know, at all.
So let me I'm gonna take it back just a little bit. So with this boyfriend, has he been any or is that her husband or a boyfriend? Has it been any problems since the incidents with your daughter, with your sons?
You know what? Yes, a lot. He tries to interfere a lot where he tries to make the decision if they can come or not. And I'm kind of like, dude, it has nothing to do with me and you. And I have videos of me and him arguing, going back and forth, where he tells me. So as far as I'm concerned, I know that he has no kids of his own, and, and so I know that I mean, he doesn't know what a feeling of being a father is, and I respect that if he has no kids,
Mhm.
that's his choice, you know.
Right.
But these are my kids, where he tells me, like, hey, these are my kids also. You know what? I don't mind if you're there taking care of my kids. I respect that because I know that my kids still the times that I'm not there, he's gonna be there and say, hey, you know what? Don't do that. You can get
Yeah,
hurt.
Right.
he
He
live
he
with
lives
them.
with them. Right. But
You know,
don't overstep your bounds, and that's a whole nother lane. Because of course, in our situation, I'm a bonus parent. I'm a stepmother, and we touch on this, but not enough. There are some step parents who don't know how to just be a great addition to the kids' lives and to their spouse and to the dynamic, right? Some of them just don't know how to fit in, and they struggle. And so as a result, they lash out. They don't build good relationships with the stepchildren. It just become chaos. And so I just want to point that out, that we understand that all step parents aren't the best step parents. But like you said, you respected this man. You give him that space to know, hey, I get it. But don't think you can just tell me what's gonna go on with my own children. And I think that's where it goes left.
exactly, just how you said it, because they have to, like, according to conversations that I've had with them, they got to call him dad, because if they don't,
What?
yeah.
Oh
Man,
no.
hell
Hell
no.
no.
Ain't no way.
Hell no.
Yeah,
It's only one daddy. That's
exactly,
it.
Like
exactly.
he determined that, or is this something that their mom and him came up with? That what?
And I mean, I can prove that. I wish I can prove it and show you, but it's like, hey, we got to call him dad, and I'm like, you know, I know some of these people want to pick and,
You breaking up
we got
again.
to be ready as parents that we are.
We're losing you.
We
We're
losing
back.
you. Uh, we lost Joshua. We'll wait for him to join back. But let's read some comments. Let's see here. Let's see. How are you bragging about not supporting your children financially? Our tax dollars at work, my friend. Oh, what made you say that? Because I could have sworn he said that he have custody of one of his kids, so that would automatically make the split right there.
Way back. My bad.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, we have a person, Angelica Santana Panzardi said,
Yeah, that's I'm
how,
under. That's the sister.
oh, okay. I was wondering if you
Ah,
knew her. That was going to be my first
Yeah,
question, but you
gonna be
were faded out.
okay.
So you don't have to entertain that if you don't want, because what
no.
she's talking about doesn't matter. If you want to speak on that, you can. But what she's talking about, you bragging about not support. I don't think you brag not once. What you said was that, and what's funny is you didn't even mention that you didn't have to pay child support. I asked you a question that led to that answer to kind of for us to kind of figure out why your ex-wife may be bitter. And so this is what is coming to an end. And this is her sister on here saying that you're bragging about not supporting your children financially. If you have one of them full custody, that just blows that question out of the water right there.
Yeah, and it's fine that she's watching. I
She
appreciate that.
has no he to add to that, he have one full custody and he's splitting 50-50 with the
Right.
other two.
And 50-50, for the record, a lot of people don't understand this because this is how we set it up as well. When the kids are with me, I cover them financially. And then when they're
Exactly.
with you, you cover them financially.
Exactly.
So, boo hoo, if you
True.
couldn't get child support, but that's what 50-50 really is. That's
Exactly.
how it
I
should
mean,
be.
yeah, you just said it, and I get it. She's on there. She. Don't get me wrong. She was never around. She lived thousands and thousands of miles away from us in El Paso.
Yeah.
So, I get it. It's family, but I don't get involved in it. It's
Yeah.
just who's here for the kids. That's me. I'm here for the kids. I'm here to make sure that everybody out there listens and learns from other people's experiences. Is that you know it's not about mom, it's not about dad. You separate it, you're done. But let mom be mom, let dad be dad. And I agree with you. Let's go both ways. There are deadbeat dads out there. There are deadbeat moms out there. You know,
Yes.
and I agree with that. I agree with it 100%.
That's why we're here to sift through the truth, because a lot of people hide behind parental alienation. A lot of people hide behind domestic violence, like all these tactics and games that people play that aren't actually happening. We have to give everyone a voice and a chance to share their story. It's not up for us to decide what's, because we weren't there. You understand? And so we're trying to be fair. And so people are gonna come on, and it's fine. It is fine. She's able to voice her opinion, but don't like cloud the basis of why we're doing this, because this is really to reach other people and help other families and
Man,
help other
I'm
fathers
sorry to cut you off, but
reconnect.
that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Uh, just for the simple fact that you talking about him not supporting his kid financially, but you never said anything about the fact that his relationship is damaged with his son because of the parental alienation part of it.
There is.
And this is the problem that I have with family members when they be seeing other family members do wrong. If you guys love the kids and you guys for the kids, you're gonna do what's best for the kids. No matter if you don't like you, if she don't like you, oh well. But her nieces and nephew love you because you their dad. So you should encourage that part of it just so them kids can be a part of the dad's life and have a healthy relationship with their father, because that's going to go a long way. But I'm gonna leave it
She
right there because
said it.
I could go
She's
on
not,
and on and on.
she wouldn't feel that way if she's not invested, right? She's somebody that wasn't around, like he said. So she really, you know,
Oh
it's not, it's
yeah,
not.
okay. Before we move on to the next guest, I got one, well actually two more questions for you. As far as your fiance now, or your fiance, your
Girlfriend.
wife. Okay, was she around during any of this period?
You know what? 100%. When I met her, I was already finalizing the divorce. Um, I was able to tell her, my separation, my divorce, it's tough. I let her know what she was getting into. I did tell her, hey, I got 3 kids. I let her know. I put it on the plate the first date, you know, and I appreciate her a lot because since day one she hasn't missed a court. She sits in the back with my parents, and listen to everything, and I'd let her know, what, this is what's going on. So she heard everything from how we're going through it right now, where to this day we still have that custody battle where it's like, you're not going with dad and stuff like that. She's a big supporter, not because she's with me right now, but it's a person that was able, and to this day, be there and listen to all the courts, listen to when I got full custody of my daughter,
Yeah.
listen to all that. So it's
Man,
it's a big
that
support.
support is needed. Um a lot.
I don't know. Have the kids? How do they feel about her? Have they bonded, or is it kind of difficult because of the situation?
I guess they have
Because
a boundary line when you know when they come over here, they can be. I don't stop them from being themselves. We're up and down. We're going crazy. Whatever we got to do, we travel. Whatever needs to be done. They built a good relationship, on my opinion, because I mean they got a little brother with
absolutely,
her. You know,
absolutely.
you're more than welcome to look at my Instagram and her Instagram. It's like she puts those my kids out there the way I put her daughter out there. Where big fact too is that she's also of course separated from her daughter's father. She don't got him in child support. She don't care when he picks her up. I'm just like, man, I wish I had that. you
Yeah.
know I'm like, she's like, I ain't
Yeah.
gonna deal with this
Same
crap.
here. Like
Pick him up, get her whenever you want. I don't care. You send her money, okay. If you don't, I'll support her. Like,
it's just
I'm
so much better without the drama,
Yeah.
it
without the
is.
bitterness, without the conflict. It just the kids just have a better chance at being the best they can be within their growth and development. Like because when you bring all that chaos in, you're hurting the child. Like you can hate us, you can hate me, you can hate him, you can do all that stuff. But look at your child, look in their face. Look at the pain and the hurt that's being caused behind your unnecessary actions.
Now
Exactly.
I got two more questions for you. One is did did your fiance, did she take any of the abuse or any of the hits? Was she attacked anyway?
You know what? Her name came out in a couple of courts where I guess they making it seem like she's here to be another mother, and like she told my daughter, hey, I'm not here to be your mom. I'm not here to be called mom. I'm not here to, I'm here to be a support. I'm with your
Right.
dad. Anything you
Right.
need, I'm here for you. She did get a lot of hits where wow, I can't believe it took him with three kids, and look what he's going through, and you know, and it's all the negative. Everybody, there's a saying that my daughter says, they want to see you do good, but they don't want to see you do better. You know,
Exactly.
Absolutely.
and she did a lot to this day. All of a sudden, yes, for example, real quick, yesterday, we're going through this with my smallest child now, and she walks in from work crying. And I thought it was something from work or whatever. And it's like, why? She's just like, why do we got to go through this? She says, we, not you. It's like, why do we got to go through this? And
Yeah, it's
it's
tough.
support's there.
It's very tough.
We definitely understand. Like I definitely, our hearts go out to you guys. Keep us posted. Like we want to know a follow up if you want to reach back out, if you want to give your Instagram or hers, you can for support. Like people, this is a community, so we're here for help. Of course, it may come with some negative energy as well, but you just have to block, delete, keep it moving. But
Exactly.
that's why we do this so that we can help one another, learn from one another. People that are in custody battles, people that have been alienated, the children. Is there any therapy? Have you set up any therapy for the kids yet, or is that
You know
something
what?
that you guys are
That's
open to?
that's something that was supposed to be done. It's something that I'll take both blame for it too, that we really haven't done it. Where sometimes I have them, and then sometimes I don't have them. I'm
Yeah,
speaking like the boys,
yeah. That's tough.
but
Yeah.
to be able to schedule and then call and cancel because you don't
Then
got the
yeah,
kid that day, you know,
I get
and
it.
stuff like that. But real quick out there, in Texas, just recently on Monday, they're almost passing that law where the domestic relations here in El Paso, Texas, they're going through the any parent that's interfering with visitations. They're trying to find the parents now for every time that the parent misses a visitation. They're trying to make go through where it's $500 every time they don't
Man,
give
I'm
you your
laughing
kid.
because, man, look, somebody that missed like 20 visitations on my end. So, but
You know,
I
I
hope
can
they go ahead and pass it. They need
you
to
know
let
I'll
her give me the money.
exactly, and I'll send you guys that link of here in El Paso. I think it's going on for Texas too, where now they're doing that, and according to it, if it's more than five violations, now they're trying to prosecute. So I'm just hoping, I'm fighting for that, and I'm getting involved in that process of being part of that for any kid out there that needs their dad, that wants to
Yeah.
really be there for them.
Okay, we appreciate you, man.
Keep us posted on how it goes, and you're always more than welcome to reach back out if you want to do a part two. You have some updates. Let us know how it goes.
Okay, we
We
got.
wish you guys the best and everything well with your blended family. Just
I
keep up the
appreciate
good
you guys.
work.
I
I
appreciate you,
appreciate you
Josh.
guys for having me on here, and thank you so much. And it's just, keep fighting for our kids. It's not about relationships anymore. It's not about mom and dad. It's about our kids.
All right.
Absolutely.